Hey, how's it going? This is Terry Jensen. I'm the pastor of First Baptist Church, Plano, Illinois, and I'm here to greet you through the week. Yeah, we're in our Thursday edition. We're through the week. Well, we've been talking about seeking God, and all this is predicated upon the times. Things have become so angry and mean spirited. There's a there's just a simple lack of civility these days in this country. And both American Christians and those who don't believe in Christ, those who don't believe in God, those who hate God, all are acting uncharacteristically evil. I say uncharacteristically. This is part of the way that their MO works. But for the most part, this isn't how people in America are. They're not mean. They're not cruel. They're not wantonly vicious. They help people. They're kind to people. And if they don't have the time for it, and for Americans, that has a lot to do with things. I just don't have time to be bothered with it right now. But they want to. They want to help. They want to be part of something that's good. Yet, in our country today, it seems as if that's just not the way it's working out. So I'm calling out to everyone, seek God. Seek God first. Seek Him while He may be found. So we've been talking about this for several weeks, and I've been doing this in my church for several months because I believe firmly, I believe that if we take our eyes off this world and we start looking toward the Lord, that we will see a beauty that exists and a hope that exists that far outstretches any present danger or ill will or any other given issue. Seek the Lord first. So, in doing that, we started talking about faith. Now, last Thursday, we used this passage here. The fundamental facts of existence is that this trust in God, this faith, is the firm foundation under everything that makes life worth living. It's our handle on what we can see. The act of faith is what distinguished our ancestors and set them above the crowd. That comes from the Message, and it's Hebrews 11, 1 and 2. Then Monday we took a look at this passage, Hebrews 11, 6. It's impossible to please God apart from faith. Why? Because anyone who wants to approach God must believe both that He exists and that He cares enough to respond to those who seek Him. Today's passage is still in Hebrews 11, and it's verses 13 and 14. And it goes like this. Each one of these people of faith died, not yet having in hand what was promised, but still believing. I'm going to jump back just a sec to see Monday's passage. It's impossible to please God apart from faith. And in Thursday's passage, last Thursday's passage, the fundamental fact of existence is that this trust in God, this faith. And today's passage, again, we're talking about faith. To believe in God and to have faith in God is a fundamental. It's a fundamental. What can I say? Faith is the substance of those things that we don't see. Today's passage tells us each one of these people. Now, they're talking about all of the folks that are in this chapter: Noah, Enoch, all of these individuals who are part of that, Abraham, Joseph, um, Jacob, all of the patriarchs, all of the individuals who were associated with God, they all lived by faith. In this faith that they had, it wasn't like it was a softball or a baseball in your hand, something really solid, right? No, it was more like sand. It was something that they could see, but they couldn't keep it there. It was just out of their reach. But it wasn't because they had faith. I got a quote for you that I like to read. This is from Stephen D. Morrison. It was a paper he wrote about Karl Barth's idea of faith. And this is, I thought, was very apropos. This is what faith sees: that God in Christ is for me, that I belong to him, that I am his beloved child, elected in Christ Jesus. Faith as such has a cognitive character and not a creative one. Did you get that? Faith as such has a cognitive character. It thinks, but it's not a creative one. It doesn't manufacture. It does not produce this new man. It does not produce the new birth, the new man, but it recognizes him. Yes, it's true that by faith, by grace through faith, we are saved. But it's the grace of God that saves us. It's the grace of God that creates that new man. But it is by faith that we are able to see that man. One of the things about the Christian life is that we oftentimes can't see ourselves being that individual the Bible talks about. We don't see ourselves as being that good. We don't see ourselves as being that new. We don't see ourselves as being that faithful. We don't see ourselves as being that loving or kind or generous. None of those things. What we see are our failings. But it's by faith. It's by faith that you see what God sees. By faith, you begin to see what God sees in you. And God sees something very spectacular in you, something very special in you. Were it not so, he did not come and died on a cross. Why go through all that trouble? He's God. Just turn around, create another universe. Hey, this one didn't work out so hot. But he sees something. He sees something in you. And that's something you can see for yourself through faith. All of these other men in the chapter 11 of Hebrews, they died. And they never saw the promise that was given to them. Yet, they weren't concerned with that, because by faith, they could see it far off. That thing, that promise was Jesus. Jesus is the exact representation of God. Jesus is God. He shows us God. He delivers for us God. And not only that, he delivers to us the opportunity to become reconciled with God so that we, through faith, might understand his very distinct promises and realize them. Only they're not here yet, but we see them far off. You and I, who believe in Jesus Christ, are new creatures in God. We didn't make ourselves that way. Our faith does not justify us. Our faith does not create a brand new me. Our faith sees the work of God in us, and our faith sees that brand new me. Even though I may be, a pretty well drywall 3-incher, I'm still that person that God sees. And by faith, I see that person off in the distance. And one day, I am going to be that person that God sees. My character will be purified. My actions will be true. My life will be meaningful. And all of this I see by faith. Do you? Well, that's it for me. I'm out of here. Catch you later. Bye.